Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Thinking about work. You may be watching this at work. Yesterday, I walked into the office early in the morning, and Shelly, our receptionist, was sitting there. She said, "Oh, I was just watching your video thought for the day." Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're out of work, looking for a job. Maybe you're a student. You're not in a job yet. I don't know. My first job was throwing newspapers in Rochester, New York, the Times-Union. It was an afternoon newspaper, and it only came out 5 days a week, weekdays. So I didn't have to throw it on the weekends, and I didn't have to wake up extra early any morning. And I took the paper out. I think I was in 4th grade when I started. I was younger than I was supposed to be, but Danny Mounts was my supervisor, and he didn't have anybody else who could throw the paper. So he said, just don't tell anybody how old you are and get out there and do it. So I did. I loved that job. It was a great job. I had great people on the route. And basically, I've worked since then. Even though I work, though, I believe in times of rest and recreation, also known as recreation. I am not a workaholic. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I didn't enjoy so many other things, I might be. If I didn't have a dynamic, wonderful family, I might be. If I didn't have a great life at church, I might be. But as it is, I got too many other things I want to be doing to be a workaholic. So there's a balancing act that's got to be done here with work. And the Bible recognizes this. In Ecclesiastes 3, verse 17, there's a time for every work, the writer says. And in the New Testament, Paul talks about the importance of working just quietly, just doing what you need to do with work. You'll find Paul saying, whatever you do, whether in word or deed, to do everything in the name of the Lord. It's the same principle. Work is something that's very important. Work is a productive thing. Work is given to Adam and Eve in the very beginning of creation. They are told to work the garden, to keep it, to watch over it, to learn about it. They were engaged in tasks that God gave them to do. We were created to do things. None of us are just mushrooms, some fungus to sit around and grow on rotten debris and let someone come pick us unless we're poisonous or hallucinogenic. That's not what we are. You're not a mushroom. I'm not a mushroom. We are people created dynamically in the image of God. That means two things. It means we reflect God to the world. We're his image to the world. But it also means that inherent within us, we're hardwired with God so that we can reflect him to the world. In either of those, it means work is important to us because God worked. Creation is described as the work of his fingers, the work of his hands in the Psalms. And in fact, in Genesis, the very first book, it says he worked for 6 days creating the world. And then on the 7th day, he rested. It's that balance thing again. So I don't know where you are at work or not at work or work to be or school is your work or the home is your work or helping out with others is your work. But find something productive to do today and do it as a reflection of a working God. Do it to his glory, but also do it in balance. It's okay to take a break later on in the day. And with that, I got to end this because I got to get to work. But this has been your video thought for the day.